again, congratulate Coach Jim Zorn and his team up here in Seattle. I thought it was a well-played, hard-fought game, and they had the lead at halftime. Fortunately, we made, more plays in the second half to win it. But I thought his team played hard, played well, and I think Jim does an awesome job, as well as a bunch of guys that are with them. So was glad to see us kind of get things smoothed out in the second half. We ran the football better. We used some two-back set more. And Landry, overall got in a better rhythm. And, the guy, everyone, again, has to realize he's had 6 days of practice in the last 6 weeks. And before that, he hadn't played in a year and a half. And it's one thing to practice. It's another thing to be in live games. So I just think the sky's the limit for him. He's just going to keep getting better. The more comfortable he becomes and the more experience he gets out on the field in live action, I think he'll just continue to improve. Donald Parham, just great. Our big tight end has just been sensational. Had another huge game here tonight or this afternoon. And I thought our run game really got going. Cameron Artis-Payne and the O-line started running the football better, and they were huge. That was huge. I thought it really hurt us in the first half that there was no run game, and that kind of it just kind of set you up in a bad spot. Defensively, we came up big. First half, we were really poor on third downs, and that hurt us. In the second half, we were much better and improved on third. We were great on third downs. Had a quick 3 and out or 4 and out there at the end of the game after Landry's fumble was huge. The guys really responded well and played well. Our kickers, punters, Austin and Drew, Christian, our snapper, those guys are outstanding. They do such a great job. I thought their placement with the ball the entire night was excellent. So if we could just eliminate some turnovers, I think we kind of make it hard on ourselves sometimes. But I believe we will the more game experience Landry keeps getting. So open it up then for questions.
Obviously, the halftime adjustments were key. Can you take me through what that process is like for you as a coach and what adjustments you made?
Yeah, it's mostly the coordinators communicating with people in the box on, what were our issues there in the first half. If we get in this set and run this or that, we've got a better chance, rather than a certain other set. So there was just some talk of that. We don't all of a sudden find new plays, but we may call some other things in different sets more often. That's what we did in the second half, more two-back sets that helped set up more some of the run game and some of the play action and screens off of it. And once it's working, you stay with it until until they show you they're going to treat it differently and stop it, So we were able to, stay in it really most of the second half offensively. Defensively, it was just execution on third downs. I think Chris wasn't as extravagant as he was in the first half, meaning you got this big play sheet, and if the guys aren't executing all of it really well, just stick to some things that they're comfortable with and execute well, and we did more of that in the second half. Yeah.
Jerome Eds, KSVR 91.7 FM. Coach, I noticed in the first half, your quarterback, he looked kind of frustrated. I know the defense was pressing him pretty hard, and you guys kind of found your stride later on. What contributing factor did you think it was that really helped smooth things out and get things going?
Again, we changed our formations a little bit, ran more two-backs, helped Landry out and the offense out by having some run game. The way they were, working in the secondary and coverages, you should be able to run the football better than we did in the first half, and we did in the second half. And I think that helped them. It helped the entire offense to not always have to throw the football, not always be in 3rd and 10 or 11. So all of that together, I think, just worked. Yeah.
There were a couple moments where you guys had the numbers advantage in the box. They'd have a really light box, 5 guys. Is that an adjustment you guys want to make moving forward, taking advantage of that?
Well, on occasion, yeah. If they're gonna steal guys to go cover everybody, then you've got to be able to be effective running the football and make them deal with both. So hopefully we can get even better at it. You've been trying to ask.
Yes, Coach. Jose Gutierrez from HSN and One World Sports, Chaos Radio. I was wondering, as admirable and legendary as a career you've had as a teacher, mentor, coach, and your family's heritage in coaching, what have your adjustments been as part of launching this league? And how critical is mentoring for you coming in at this stage of your career? And Landry Jones is one of your former players as well.
Yeah, I don't know how much you mentor a guy like Landry Jones, who's a grown man and has 3 children and a great wife. And so, you always want to be an example, in my eyes, a Christian example and a family man and a guy that, takes care of his children and his wife. And you want to be an example for all things that are positive when you're working with young men. And I guess, but some of them are old enough that, they don't need that example. Some may take it in a positive way. I always try to be positive. That's even like at halftime, I refuse to get negative ever. And, so you just try and be a positive example as much as you can in really all parts of your life. And I'm no saint by any means, so I'm sure I've failed plenty of times, but I think there's probably a little more of that in college because of the age of the players, and you're with them so much more. These guys, are limited in the time you're with them, but you still try. Yeah, you.
Coach, Donald Parham had a huge game for you guys, capped off with that big touchdown. How critical is it to get a guy like that involved with his skill set and his size? He's just so much bigger and faster than so many guys trying to defend him.
Yeah, it's important. He's a major target. You look out there and you think he's not running fast, but then you realize his legs are so long he doesn't have to move them as fast as everybody else to cover ground. So he got great hands. Not what I've loved about him. He's a competitor. He's been tough. So yeah, he's been a big star for us in 3 games for sure. Yeah.
He's learning how to use him, Donald, but he's incredible. He's learning how to use him.
Well, I don't know learning how to use them. Hal's offense and what we do is pretty regimented, but we're finding, obviously we're targeting him and finding his spots. I'm sure Landry likes looking at that target. It's a big wingspan. Yeah.
And then there's a difference between wanting to stick with what you have and believing in how you prepared versus making the adjustment. Obviously, you guys made the adjustment. What did Seattle do that made you decide to kind of change what you're doing, or was it purely just execution?
Well, like I said, some of the formations we changed to hopefully we had hoped would give us a little more run game, and it did. Outside of that, a lot of the rest of it, but I think that set up some of the other passing, the fact that we were able to run the football some and had to make them deal with that. That affected things. But, a lot of times, believe me, through my years of doing this, halftime adjustments are a little bit overrated. All of a sudden, you do the same things and you execute them better. People think you made an adjustment. Sometimes it's truly your execution, and you played better, or you not just execution, you played better. But we did change a few things up, but I think we played better also. All right, thank you.